Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nightfall in Amsterdam. We're not with the werewolves this time; they can take a break for a bit. Um, we are with instead the mages. When Morgan gets into the bookstore, the Hella, she'll find, it was closed. She went out for a bit of shopping, and it's obvious Callie closed it. She kind of walks in and she, kind of feels the eerie silence, which is unusual. Callie's normally pitter pattering. You'll see, of course, her familiar there. He's fast asleep as always, though when he's not needed. She'll look around. You can see various things have been taken out. It obviously looks like Callie's been doing something. So when you come to the little room that she uses for her sanctum, you'll see the splashes of water. She obviously was carrying a bowl or something. And when you open the door, you'll see a small little bowl with droplets of blood in it. You literally see Callie fade, into being in front of you. Her hand still holding the droplets, like her hand slashed across her hand. As they drop in very gently, very carefully. She kind of has the nervous look as she's still staring into the bowl. As she just comes into it, literally materializes into being. The scar even seems to just kind of glow slightly, kind of reflects in this kind of quiet blue light. She lets out this big like that into the kind of water itself, and the water ripples and stuff like that. And she just kind of looks around like breathing quite heavily.
And yeah, Morgan, as per kind of the road of habit, has it. She may not have stopped to do it, but on her way in, came upstairs, was looking around, looking through, realized she's in the sanctum, and as she's been walking, has thoughtlessly pulled off and flicked her patch off onto the chair, even pulled off her shirt in the meantime because scars out time. And upon pacing into the sanctum and seeing Callie kind of fade in, eases to a point that's just outside that initial circle, essentially poised to play catch. Because this isn't the first time Callie's done it, but it's never any less jarring for someone who can't make the same trip. So, as she fades in, those hands are there, hovering. The knees aren't crossing the circle. She's not, the lines may be properly inscribed, so they're not going to get smudged, but she's still not going to risk whatever casting is happening on the off chance it's still going. But
I'll
she
put
is
like
right there, and if Callie starts to topple, she'll get braced.
I'll put it like this. You see, with the bowl of water and everything, that's nearly red at this point because you know what sometimes Callie has to do to even do her magic, which is blood. Let me just double check this for one level of bashing. I'll put that at 3 levels of bashing now. Her hands are slashed. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, she, for the moment at least, is just focusing on making sure Callie's upright and done before she scoops in.
She does. She kind of dips her hands slowly in the water and kind of you can see her closing them very softly, letting the cold water just sets out this breath and kind of looks up. You know what I mean? Like,
You went looking?
nods. Safe there for me.
And with even an answer, and absolutely sure now that it is well and good done, Morgan finally slides into the circle and braces up alongside Callie, hooks her up so that she can lean a bit. In fact, probably even straying a hand over to gently catch up one of hers. Has she sliced the knuckles, her palms? Where
Palm,
is the damage?
palm, both the palms. So it would drip into the water.
So yeah, it's probably light fingers under the wrist to coax one of them up so that she can thumb it over and see what the damage is.
Yeah, it's not like a deep slash. It's just like it's significant enough that it's like ooh. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I sang in the umbra.
Did you enjoy yourself?
Someone sang back.
Really?
Nods. I didn't recognize the style at first, but I am. So I traveled back over and Took some things which would be easier on my throat, and would carry the echo. And then the pace became different.
Was it a human voice?
Not. It sounded more Norse, very tribal, like a call to arms, and it was getting closer.
You knew where? Even roughly.
No, it seemed to echo and reverberate. It looks like it was trying to follow me.
How close did it get?
I didn't see anyone. I was looking to the window.
So not too close, but probably in the city.
Nods.
He nods. Gingerly. She will bring up the hand and lightly, just touch her lips to part of the undamaged portion of the palm. And probably, let's see. Do 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 do. See if she can do a little thing. Helps if I actually have the sheet up and not the empty post I made because I'm a terrible person. It's 3, and then we're in the sanctum. Use a tool. Everything's coincidental, so +3 minus 1, 2. Minus 2. Oh, I should probably. Fuck you, I will extend.
Double willpower.
I will drop a willpower and a quint. In fact, I will drop 2 quint because let's make this really easy. There we go. So it takes a moment for the magic to stir up and take hold, but she will, take up the hands, both of them, and fondly touching and finally setting her lips to the injuries very gently in this case, because she values Callie more than that. She doesn't need to be rough or nasty with her. We'll use her personal touch to soothe it away. Mingling them there in the shared sanctum, spending some quintessence, and soothe away the shallow cuts on her palms. There. Good as new.
My mother used to sing like that. That's what my father said. That's how they found each other.
A man's voice, a woman's voice.
In the mountains. That's what he told me, at least.
One night, Callie. Was it a man's voice, a woman's voice?
It was male. I think it was male. It was throat singing, shamanistic. Maybe there's that man Angram, but I don't know.
I suppose we could always go so far as to ask.
We could cross over together.
And go looking.
You'll be safe with me there, as long as I have hold of you. The Umbra does not harm those around me.
Do you think it is wiser than asking him?
Perhaps curiosity is getting the better of me.
She'll faintly smile and reach up and tuck a little bit of her hair. Why don't we indulge your curiosity?
If you think it's wiser to ask, we should ask.
Wiser, but perhaps not as fun.
A nod. It's just odd to have someone sing back.
Yeah, it is. Kind of like just watching thoughtfully. Have you ever had someone sing back?
Shakes her head. I used to sit up in the mountains where I was from. I would sing, and it would just echo. Before before the awakening, you could see the sheep walking along, following. Then, since the awakening, some spirits would watch, you know?
Hmm. So what would you have us do? It's your song.
I'm not sure. Part of me is wanting to chase it, but it could be something. The Umbra is a beautiful but mixed place. And a call to action or arms means something is wrong.
Question is whose fight it is. Not that it keeps me from watching.
More of the fact that in the Nordic style, songs like that mean war.
She finally idly starts just kind of playing with her lip. All the more reason to go see, I suppose.
We should ask. Curiosity is one thing, but if we are stumbling onto a conflict, it's better to know.
A faint, toothy smile, probably.
That way I can choose what I sing rather than hope.
Well, and if he knows, yeah, it does give us a better avenue of approach. And if he doesn't, well, at least we know it's not him.
No Christian would sing like that.
Saying from a Christian.
No. He is similar fate to my own.
But no, I doubt they would. They're too busy with all their hymns.
Did anyone ever sing to you like that?
The only one I remember is you.
Just nod. I'm sorry for getting difficult to manage the other night.
Finally, the smile breaks a little wider. Why?
I was careless.
You were not. If you'd been careless, I wouldn't have been there.
True.
But I was.
But careless behavior let me have these, and turned, with a scarred face.
Then Morgan doesn't hesitate to lean over, and again, it's the lightest little touch of the lips right up on the cheekbone. Not right on the scars, but close on the cold skin. And if you had never done it, you would have never met your mother, and you would never have woken up. And we would never have met.
It was still careless.
It was the carelessness of any youth. Looking. Perhaps it wasn't carelessness and you just knew there was something to look for on a level that you couldn't really touch yet.
The Umber does. They always claim so attached to death, but the Umber is both life and death, culminated in a time where echoes and new things breed at the same time.
Too many people look at death as an ending rather as one point in a big cycle. I forget. Without dying, there isn't living.
Hmm. We shall ask Angrim.
You're nuts.
And plus, magic does take its toll on my body after a while.
And again, that soft nod of agreement. It
Because
does.
Morgan may have healed her up, but Callie does look, having to fucking slash yourself and, you know what I mean? Even the
It's
effort of getting over there, you know what I mean?
yeah, it still takes a toll.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Like she may not have open seams in her skin anymore, but that doesn't mean that she's all hunky dory better. Which is probably why Morgan is still like sat next to her, has an arm kind of swooped around her like she tends to do, and it's just nested in.
Plus, there's been conflicts. From what I can see and hear, these new fates are turning up again.
In fights.
Mm.
Tell me.
She'll crack her neck. Help me up to the point out towards the living room.
With that, Morgan will go ahead and just kind of flow up and into a stand, reaching down to take not the hands because they might still be a little tender. Sometimes it's finicky, but kind of gripping just beyond at the wrist. And gives her a hoist, and depending on how unsteady she is, will go so far as to no shit scoop her up into her arms and like a bridal carry.
That's more of just like she walks, but she's a bit shaky. Blood loss. She's kind of a bit like, whoa, dizzy. Kind of, she's a bit flushed. Like from the good side, you can tell she's very flushed.
Eh, fuck it. Morgan indulges herself sometimes. She'll probably scoop her up anyways. Yeah, she can walk, but this isn't her calling Callie incapable. This is her indulging and doting on her a little bit.
She eventually gets set down. We'll turn to her.
Mm-hmm.
Can you I'll need food.
Of
Just
course.
something that will replenish.
Hmm. Then yeah, once she's got her settled, seeming comfortable, the first thing she'll do is disappear long enough to reappear with a glass of water and a straw. plunking that down firmly in front of her. Because, so help me, young lady. Before the footsteps, like, flit around into the kitchen again. Still obviously within, like, yelling range, but. Yeah, she will, Morgan is not the finest of cooks, but then again, I feel like they shop accordingly, so she will manage to sling something together pretty quick, like something that either needs a very little bit of skill at time or maybe a microwave trip, but something pretty prompt just to get something in her stomach that isn't snacky food.
Yeet.
And yeah, she will probably come back around with a plate. I mean, knowing these two in their last shopping trip, it might be a fucking hot pocket. I mean, you bought so many.
I was thinking, no, she'll be happy with anything. Like chocolate is really good as well. She probably actually will ask for chocolate as well because that's meant to be really good for like buying up your
Ooh,
stuff.
actually, all things considered, she may actually end up with like either a glass of milk or a glass of orange juice, depending on how she's
Mhm.
looking.
Yeah, she's pretty pale.
So yeah, there will probably be initially orange juice though. Morgan will eventually come around, like do some rifling, come out with a handful of different type of snack foods, a glass of water, a glass of milk. Fucking Callie knows better what she needs than Morgan does, really. Though Morgan is going to keep studying and assessing.
Yeah, you see Callie do raise a little shaky hand and start, taking those slow nibbles essentially.
Morgan is not even
Apparently,
remotely beyond taking up a candy bar and snapping off bits just to make it easier for her to.
there's been many violence in the local churches of the Christian faith. They are claiming discriminatory action. However, none of the actual pagan folk are being harmed yet. But there will be a response. There
Yeah,
always is.
it's always yet.
I think we should intervene before, or at least figure out what is going on before that response does come.
Is there a pattern?
Seems to be primarily a conflict between different opposing fates, from what I can tell. I'd rather know more, though. It's very vague. All I know is that the mortal world, the police, are being set up to curb down every church and place of worship.
Oh, well, she's thoughtfully, like, sometimes breaking off larger pieces and eating them herself, but for the most part, making sure there's a handful of smaller pieces of chocolate so that Callie doesn't have to fight so much with it. Well, you can look there from here. Can you look here from there?
I could, but I'm more worried about spending too much time there.
It's kind of a concerned glance.
It's not too good to stay in the spirit world for a long time. You lose a sense of yourself.
There. Hmm.
And plus, if we are to go together, I will have to keep you near me, as I have seen others of our kind be affected by things in the Umbra.
I could either stay on close with you, or I could stay close by on this side, where it might happen.
Possibly, but I will have no way to communicate with you.
Hmm. Those kind of wrinkles. That is the rub. You communicate with Fenris from there. Or I guess it's Fenrir from there.
I normally bring him with me. He's a very good guard dog.
It's a vague smirk.
Somewhere you can hear friend nurse grumbling and sleeps like I am. Mm. You know what I mean? There are some pockets of energy I've seen from the Umbra, though.
No?
They've been coescalating around the city, around the high industrial and commercial areas. I spotted them a few times from my window, and I peeked over.
What does that mean?
You would know more about the primal energies than I would. Could be a buildup.
Coalescing how?
They seem to be pockets, nexuses,
Stronger points?
nodes.
Nodes.
Hmm.
Forming.
Nods.
And they weren't there when we first came?
Appeared about 4 days ago. I spotted the first one.
That is strange. It's not unheard of for a mage to of exceptional power to try to create one, to pull together the energies and synchronize them, but more than one. It's a big undertaking.
It might not be a mage.
What else could do that?
Any number of things, maybe.
I'll put it this way, it's the work of a master. Higher than I can do. I can reach out, I can touch. I can move some of the energy, but I can't form it into a whole. Not like that. Not even on a battlefield.
Perhaps it could be a natural response to something. I would not know. I'm not experienced. I'm only learning it. I can only see it. My training was more of the spiritual world, and then the other spheres will come after, I was told.
I should probably make a point of paying more attention.
Boops on the nose as she puts one of the chalk pieces in her mouth. You have been enjoying yourself of late.
Miss Helen?
I have been as well. Smirk. It was nice to escape things.
Oh, it was necessary to escape things, but.
I don't think there's anything wrong with enjoying life for what it is, for even just a week extra than we normally do.
But now, of course, it's time to put our nose back to the grindstone.
Not.
Let's see if I can find anything.
Like I said, the industrial and commercial areas is where you spot them.
Strange. It's the kind of place you find that type of thing.
Perhaps we could take a walk in a church and see if we burst into flames.
Oh, I do love that game. And in the meantime, I suppose if all else fails, between our eyes and. She gestures over to where her raven has his head tucked under his wing. Or at least his beak. Always got an extra pair. Can watch more than one building.
Just nod.
It's not so much that I'd even like to stop it, but I would like to know who's doing it before I catch the blame.
We should. Nods. We should also talk to Angram. See if he is the one responsible for that song. If he's not, then we will commune with it further. And if he is, why is he provoking a call to arms?
You might have an idea the local magics are coalescing into. Could be a local phenomena. It could be others who are awake. Could be something else.
It is better to find out from the source that we know, at least. I know he is one of us. I know he's similar sect, so start with what we know. I also know of the girl called Valkyrie. She rolls her eyes.
Morgan starts kind of snickering,
She came into
pulls
the book.
over a bag of cheesy poofs.
She came into the bookstore.
It seems all the cool kids are coming into your bookstore.
The Hermetic did.
Oh, that's right. The one who can't even.
Yeah.
One with the very purposeful bits of free hair.
She did give us a gift.
Have you looked at it?
Of course. I felt it.
Is it worthwhile?
It's magical energy.
Hmm.
Tass.
How downright charitable.
Of course, she's a Hermetic. She must appear to be so. It's so that when they fuck you, they won't, they don't have to feel bad.
Hmm. Well, we do, after all, get on so well with hermetics.
Puts, one of the chocolate pieces in her mouth, swallows it. The little one, Runa, seems to be, well, she has not appeared again, smirking.
After the travesty, the veritable train wreck that happened the last time she was out, are you really that surprised she hasn't shown back up?
Shrugged.
Oh, that was terrible. Even I had to look away.
I've not seen Boca either.
What, not since the storm?
Nods.
Were you in touch?
No, he said he would come back and collect a few books, but he looked at a shrug. That kind of, yeah.
A thoughtful little look across the teeth. Do we have one of those little rewards things in the store yet? Like everyone does. She kind of like waves her hand around with the apps and the cards and
I'm not
the
good
give
at
me
that.
your phone number.
I'm not good at that. She gives a kind of smirk.
Yeah, might have been worth it. Could have been a phone number on the receipt in that case.
Perhaps you could set that up.
So she like steeples her fingers totally innocently. You remember how leaving home was a bit of an ordeal.
Naturally.
And how I went out of it again.
Naturally.
And forgot some things.
I remember we left in quite a hurry.
And that she kind of finally splays the hands. That's why I've been perfectly fine with this flip phone.
Well, maybe you could work on getting a new one. Smirking. Put in extra hours. I'll even pay you.
Finally, like, reaches over to kind of like poke the end of her nose. No, I mean, not forgot things as in left them behind. Forgot things.
Reach over and run her hand through Morgan's hair. I was worried that what I did to that Christian might have affected you.
I don't know that it was them. Felt like some part of me rejected the idea of leaving. Necessary or no. And things haven't quite been the same since.
Is the home of your mother.
Almost feels like part of me stayed behind.
We'll go back there one day.
Oh, we will.
Once it is safe.
Or once I'm capable of making it safe.
Do not.
Grows. Whatever the case. She finally gestures over towards whatever computer or laptop they happen to own. It's just and that kind of kind of gesture.
I'm pretty sure you could design something.
I know I used to be able to do it.
Practice makes perfect.
It's frustrating to learn something you know you should know. There's a bit of a pout even. But I'll try.
Think of it this way. You learn the skill far more better now.
Suppose it's better to learn than to somehow immaculately know. And not know how. Just kind of shoots a dirty look at the computer briefly.
All things start and end and begin again. Even the knowledge.
I'll try.
You're better than me, Alan. She smirk. That Callie is no good with computers. No technology.
Morgan has reverted to computer zero.
I'm at technology and computer zero, Katie.
I mean, technology isn't even. Oh, there it is. Yeah, they're both zero. I forgot it moved over into the skills.
She just stares at it like, my God.
No, Morgan essentially, much as Callie is aware that Morgan couldn't remember anything specific about herself from before waking. She knows about the state of the world and how to do things that are normal people things, but nothing about herself in particular from before waking up. And upon leaving the Emerald Isle, seems to have had something of a fit of it where she lost bits and pieces. Not anything significant. She remembers Callie, she remembers everything that happened. But the computer is one of the examples where she just kind of looks at it and she just doesn't know. It's like she never knew. And she's aware that there's a point where she could use that. And there's probably a point where she sat down at the computer and tried to just do her normal shit and realized she just didn't know how. And it's been a magical world of discovery. Things that she's pretty sure she should be able to do and just, nope.
Who knows, maybe be a champion dancer next.
Wouldn't that be a thing?
Just give a shrug.
And I've been more at home outside, running around like a creepy hermit in the woods, smiling.
We'll find a place to do that.
Got into that odd place where I may not be able to bring home a paycheck, but I could certainly put food on the table if you don't mind it bleeding.
Gives us idle shrug. Just be careful.
Of course. And I mean, she says, I'm like, of course. As they both know that she is many times a creature of impulse. Just like, how dare. I would never. She would. They both know she would.
I don't want to drive another soul. Mind. the brink of destruction again. There's a little smile on her face, and ooh, do you know what I mean?
There's like that point where I imagine Callie's like in the armchair and Morgan's at the closest end of the couch, but she still does that like lean, that very characteristic like, hey girl, kind of lean as the toothy smile grows. But it's so fucking hot.
You didn't see him. Babbling.
No.
All I did, and she holds up the dead hand and just touches Morgan's face lightly, was just gaze into his eyes. And then everything went quiet.
Perhaps it's nice knowing the lengths that you'd go to keep us safe.
He deserved it. Templars deserve to be reminded of their place, especially when they threaten people I love. Pat you on the cheek.
Yeah, Morgan takes the pet.
It's very
Still
gentle.
just
Gentle, like, you know, like almost traces downwards.
I mean, you can practically hear Morgan revving. She can't help it. May not be how I deal with the problem, but there's a certain finesse to it. Very cling.
I did not realize until it was when I woke up. The same noise that my mother spoke when she woke me was the gift I can spark on them. Madness. For they have realized they've gazed into death and they're not ready.
Perhaps if they weren't ready, they shouldn't be doing what they're doing.
Oh boy. Because she'll lean up, you know, like straighten herself a bit, and when she does, she kind of leans over towards Morgan. So she's about to explain something, but again, it's that coily, snake-like slither. You know what I mean? That probably even as much as Morgan likes, it's still like, ooh. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. No, it gives her the Wiggins. That's why she loves it.
Sometimes you have to wake up from the things you thought your consciousness needed.
And yeah, I mean, it's both the eyes, like both the regular and slit pupil, go a little wide, like, ooh. And it's funny because she's got that kind of derpy smile going. Like, eh.
That is the gift my mother has, but also Valravan has. A god of illusion.
What a shame that they weren't so ready to be enlightened as they thought they were.
No one ever is. Do you know what Valravan was, Morgan?
She nestles back a little bit. Still, ooh, she's watching keenly. There's a lot of alertness there, but she makes a point of, like, just flexing back a little. Force of will and all.
In some Danish folklore, it's a man transformed into a raven-like being. And the fallen man could only lift this curse by drinking the blood of young. It's a Christian tale. The tongue like slithers. You know what I mean? It makes that like her. She goes. You know that's classic lisp. You know what I mean? The when she does that. That is not what Valravan is.
Tell me.
Valravan is something far more complex. The Raven of the Slain. They eat the bodies on the battlefield. When a Dane king or a chieftain was killed in battle and they weren't found, he would become a Valravine.
What's that?
The Valravine that ate the king's heart gained the human knowledge and can perform great malicious acts, lead people astray, and superhuman powers. Some were half wolf, some were half raven. But do you know what I really think they were?
Tell me.
Judgment. We all have done things. We all have slain people. We all have done these things, and these Templars and these persecutors think they control, but sometimes the old gods, they hear. And when they push back, not even blood can satiate their thirst. My mother often said, when I spoke to her, as I grew in my magical abilities, that once the dead are buried, you cast them into Valhalla, or send them to her, the ones eaten by the Valravine. Again, when she smiles, it is always the more eerie because that scar makes it look so much more menacing, so much more twisted. Do you know what I mean? And especially if she smiles with pleasure. So, in a way, that was my mother's gift. The touch of a hand. I inflict the horrors of a Valravan onto your mind. And for one of us who have woken, you can imagine what that will do.
How close is she leaned in at this point?
Pretty close.
I'm not gonna lie, the response, as much as Morgan's kind of leaning back, like, ooh, 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 ooh. Like, just, ooh. As Callie gets closer and closer, if she gets close enough, it's the same kind of, like, little coaxing gestures you make, like, when you're trying to, like, I don't know, coax your partner onto your lap, or, like, the hands and the rest of the body language are very contrary in that, like, it's spooky. She's very, very interested and very engaged and definitely a little, like, off kilter, off balance. But still, the gestures are like, yes, this is horrifying. Come here.
So, she walks over, stands. Again, her spine makes this weird, like, as if it's stretching itself out again. Almost like a snake. She'll walk over and, like, put both her hands, the warm and the cold, onto Morgan's both her cheeks. I'll be very interested to see who pushes me to that point again.
So am I. Like staring up into the eyes, like, ooh.
Now, I'm going to go to bed. It twitches a bit. My body is tired.
I'm with.
Sure. She gives you like the good hand kind of leans to stroke along the cheek as she's walking towards her bedroom.
And yeah, oh man, like led by the nose, she follows so astutely behind. Like, yes, no, I'm just gonna follow you in here, and you look like you could use a back rub. You look like, yep. Here, let me help. Your body is tired. That'll make it feel better.
Do you want it there, bud?
Yes, I do.